I had my blood work done. My arms, the veins in my arms, a lot of them have a problem getting the needle there, and I suggested the back of my hands, and that's what he went for. And I ran into a friend of mine, and told her I was fasting, why I was there, because she's a nurse in that office. And she made the comment that, oh, I couldn't do that. I get a migraine if I quit eating. And immediately I just said, that's a food allergy. And she goes, oh yeah, and she does. She has a lot of food issues. I mean, she is constantly going to the bathroom. She's she's talked about her colon's a bunch of scar tissue. and I know, sorry if that's grossing anyone out, but it's a fact of life. We all poop. If you don't poop, you've got more problems than anyone that is pooping. So that's a food addiction. If you cannot miss a meal without getting a headache, getting irritable, I'm not talking hunger pains. I mean, our body gets into a rhythm. It expects food at a certain time period every day, especially if you do have a good routine going. But if you miss a meal and you start getting a headache, just like if you miss your cup of coffee in the morning, if you drink coffee, and you know it, you feel it, that withdrawal. That's the same with foods. There are foods, and some of them may be healthy. I mean, I was having withdrawal symptoms from broccoli when I quit eating broccoli. That was hard. You got to identify those things. I had a blood work done. And I'll give you a link to that office, and a friend of mine that can check your insurance to see if it'll do it and everything. But if you cannot miss a meal without getting a headache, then you've got more problems than you realize. Because if you have a food addiction, not only are you addicted to something, and in my case, let's use the example of broccoli. Broccoli is supposed to be a pretty healthy food for you. I mean, I was eating raw broccoli sprouts regularly. I loved broccoli raw. I loved broccoli cooked, steamed, you name it, baked in a casserole. I loved it. I loved it any which way I can get it. And you think that's a healthy thing. Well, my body was having issues with it. And it wasn't digesting. I'm not going to show a picture of myself, and I'm definitely not going to show you my belly. I look like a pregnant woman. I don't look fat. I look pregnant right now. And it looks like I drink beer. If I'm not pregnant, it's like, you must be drinking a lot of beer. You have that beer gut. But from the back, I don't even look fat. If I'm wearing tight clothes, well, I look pretty good from the rear. But from the front and side, I look pregnant. And that's not a healthy body type for anybody that's not pregnant. So there was something going on there. My liver at one time was a fatty liver. I'm hoping, well, the last few years that's come back normal. Chances are that may have resolved by cutting out high fructose corn syrup and Tylenol products, things. And I didn't drink. I'll drink a glass of wine or have a drink every so often, but I'm talking maybe 2-3 times a year tops that I'll have a drink, and then those aren't consecutive days either. So I've been very careful about my liver, because when I was diagnosed with this condition and just not taxing my liver, I know what did it. I worked at a hospital about 15 years ago, and I was so stressed out I was popping Tylenol like candy. It's not a safe product. And it was while I was there that I was diagnosed that I was an alcoholic. My liver was producing enzymes that alcoholics produce, and it was from the Tylenol. The doctors didn't figure that out. I figured that out. They made me wait another 6 months, no alcohol at all, because I had drank 3 months before that one. Had a glass of wine 3 months before that incident where I had the blood work done. So be aware. Learn what your body can handle. I mean, some people can drink and they can walk and drive, and they can be blood alcohol legal, but they're not falling over. Well, if I had drank more than a glass of wine, you would probably know it. I would know better than to drive. So different people handle things differently. What is healthy for some people is not healthy for others. I'm not saying alcohol's healthy for anybody. I'm just saying you gotta learn. You know, if you're not going to get the blood work done, if you're not going to learn from other ways, you need to listen to your body. Log it. See if you can skip a meal. And what I did prior to my meal, fasting, I mean, was to cut, definitely not have anything I knew I was allergic to. So, I'm not sure if I'm allergic to sea urchin or not, by the way. That wasn't tested. So, those kind of things I shouldn't have done, but I had to start my fast sometime. I knew I was always going to goof up on something, but at least I lowered my intake daily and before I started my fast, and I think that's why I'm still able to on day 5. I want to eat because I love to eat. I love foods. I love to cook. I love to taste new stuff. So that's a big part of my life. If I'm not eating or cooking, I'm talking about it. So that's been a big part of my life, and will be again, but hopefully in a more in a healthier body and healthier regimen. And I thought I should share that in case anyone had that excuse.